first things I want to introduce to you is some of the ideas that make firearm defense specific to firearms. Many of the techniques we're going to look at can be interchangeable with different kinds of weapons, particularly knives when they're held close to you. But I want to look at the major and most important difference between firearm defenses and cold arm defenses. And that is the idea of both the line of fire and the field of fire. So people use these terms differently, and I want to make it as simple and as understandable as possible. So when somebody is threatening you with a firearm, unlike a knife, for example, I have two areas I got to worry about. The first one is the line of fire. Everybody understands that. That's the path the projectile is going to take, and we're going to be talking about that. So if I get out of the way, the path of the projectile is going to miss me, and I should be safe. However, what a lot of techniques miss and what a lot of instructors miss is there's also what I'm going to refer to as the field of fire. So when a firearm discharges, basically they're small cannons. There's an explosion in the gun, and the gases are trapped. They can only go one direction. That's what propels that projectile, the bullet, out the barrel. So when that happens, there's secondary threats. There's a loud noise, which we're going to talk about extensively, but also there's a muzzle flash that comes out in a cone shape. So there's burning bits of gunpowder, there's minute pieces of metal from the round, and there's a flash, a muzzle flash. Now this is basically, just think of it as a cone. I'm going to use the term field of fire to understand that even though, especially if, say it's something close to my face like this, in this situation, I'm out of the line of fire, but I'm in the field of fire. If this gun discharged this close to my face, I could very well lose an eye, it could knock me off balance, right? So that's something that a lot of self-defense instructors ignore, that we have at least 4 different threats, right? You've got the line of fire, you've got the muzzle flash, there's a concussive wave that comes out of here depending on the size of the gun. When we're talking long rifles, which we may do later, they have much larger ammunition, so the concussive wave is much larger. It actually becomes a danger. If it goes off close to your body, it could take off chunks of flesh, but that's more of a military large gun context. With small modern firearms, it's not as big a deal. But taking the concussive effect close to your ear probably will rupture your eardrum. Could knock you out physically, like getting punched. Okay? So we're going to take all of those secondary threats, the muzzle flash, the concussive effect, the loud noise, and we're going to refer to all those as being in the field of fire, which basically is that cone that's going to extend out this way to some distance. Now, of course, the noise, you can hear it from a long ways away. If it's quiet outdoors, you can hear it from miles away. Certainly in an urban environment, depending how built it up, you can hear it from blocks away. So it may startle you, but it's not a real threat. Close to your head, that noise and concussive blast is an actual threat. It can blow your eardrums out, it can blind you, it can knock you down, the same as being hit. Again, depending on how large the caliber of the weapon is, it becomes a bigger danger. Okay? So that's the main thing that we want to add to our firearm defense is now we have to take into consideration the primary threat is the line of fire, and then we're going to refer to all these secondary considerations as the field of fire, which again, just think of a cone shape coming out, radiating that way, okay? So, once again, with smaller caliber handguns, it's not a huge threat. Obviously, if I can safely fire my own weapon on the range at arm's distance, then these threats aren't that dangerous. You know, certainly you wear ear gear and things like that, and eye gear when you're usually on the range. But other than having the brass sometimes come spinning out and hit you in the head, it's not that dangerous. So, as long as you are somewhere, a foot or 2 away from your face, you're not going to have a problem. So we want to keep that in mind, though. Basically, to take this and make it as simple as possible, you have to get the weapon away from your face. That will protect you from both the line of fire and the field of fire.